Alright guys, I just want to start by saying that I am in no way a medical professional. I'm not licensed in any medical field. So everything I say here is just based off of my own accord and my own experience and observations. So take that with a grain of salt, if you will. Now let's talk about Connor. So I want to start by saying yes, I am worried about Connor. If you guys have been following along, you know that a few weeks ago, Connor started posting some very bizarre stuff on his YouTube channel, and it turns out he took a very strong psychedelic called ayahuasca. It's actually one of the strongest psychedelics known to mankind, and it's also called the Truth Serum. So eventually Connor posted a video titled Goodbye, in which he basically insinuated that he was going to end his life. When I saw this, I immediately called the police and drove over to his house, to which he was nowhere to be found. We spent all day looking for him, and finally, later in the day, I got a DM from a lady saying that Connor was at her store in Venice Beach. Great news. So I called the police and drove over there as fast as I could. When I got there, Connor was there, and when he was getting detained by authorities, he gave me a memory card from his camera and said, "Brett, I need you to make a video out of this and post it tomorrow on Sunday." Obviously, given the state that Connor was in, I decided that that was not a good idea. But I did watch the footage, and when I watched the footage, it became clear to me that all of this was an act. Connor had no plans of hurting himself or anyone else, but me and my friends decided, obviously, not to put the content out there and to let Connor, release it if and when he was ready, which he actually ended up doing in one of his videos later on when he was released. So Connor spent 2 weeks in a psych ward, and I called him every few days. Rather, he called me, and we talked every few days, and he was able to get to a point where he was able to hold a normal conversation and speak normally, but yet one thing remained the same. The one thing that stayed the same was he just didn't want to talk about anything other than his enlightenment and his awakenment. It seemed to be the only thing that mattered to him. Now here's one of the things that worries me. Connor seems to be so consumed with this enlightenment and this awakening that he's starving himself, literally and figuratively, from the true human experience. I believe it's possible to continue your life, continue your passions and your pursuits with your newfound enlightenment and awakening, powering that. But yet, he has decided to go in the path of trying to spread this new insight, this new knowledge, in the form of just sitting around and talking about it. And I think that's the main reason that people are saying he's acting like a weirdo, or saying Connor's gone crazy. I think his message and his newfound enlightenment would be spread much more easily through him just living life, to use this newfound energy to create, to empower, and to live life at a next level, and not try and have the awareness that he had when he was on his ayahuasca trip, because that's for that experience, and it's not supposed to last forever, in my opinion. It's very possible that he's still in a manic state, having these big, grandiose ideas and all this energy that you just can't hold. It seems as though his mind has been opened greatly. And an open mind can be a great thing, but it seems that his mind has been opened so much that he's believing any thought that comes into his mind. In one of his videos, he shared that in the psych ward, a man started sniffing markers and then claimed that he could see Wi-Fi. Now, I would never count anything out of the realm of possibility, but it seems much more likely to me that he was just hallucinating rather than killing off part of his brain that was giving him access to different radio waves. But in Connor's open-minded state, he firmly believed him. Now, I've done everything that I possibly can for Connor. I've offered to help in any way. I've talked to his family, and I've listened to Connor, and I've tried to challenge his beliefs, in a sense to make him challenge them, to reaffirm what he thinks he knows to be true. And he has confirmed to me, he has told me that every experience that he's felt or thought of, he believes 100%. He believes all of it as much as he believes that 2 + 2 is 4, which I find very interesting. And something that's also very interesting is that a lot of the statements and claims that Connor has been making in the past few weeks are very congruent with the teachings of spiritual teachers such as Eckhart Tolle and the Buddha. Things such as everything is God's essence in physical form. There's not separate lives, there's just life itself. And every external pursuit is damned to fail. These are all very common claims in their spiritual scriptures and literature, but yet Connor seems to have come to these realizations on his own experience. Now, I'm not saying Connor is completely enlightened or he's the next Buddha or Jesus or something. It's very possible that, he still is not in a firm mental state. That's certainly possible. But when I look at Connor, I see somebody that is more at peace than anyone that I've seen before. So it's hard for me to just write him off as crazy, Like Connor said, it's impossible to tell somebody what it's like to drink water if they've never drank water before. It's probably also impossible to explain what enlightenment is like to somebody who has never experienced it. In the 17th century, Galileo was the first person to claim that the earth wasn't the center of the, and he was imprisoned for life because of this claim. Who are we to vilify him and say that he's crazy when we have no way of knowing for sure? It's actually quite possible that we could be the crazy ones. He seems to have dropped all insecurities. He made a video admitting he uses a penis extender, for God's sake. Doesn't it seem kind of nice being exactly who you really are at all times without having fear of how people think of you or how they talk about you? Seems kind of nice to me. Now, I've filmed with Connor a ton of times, and I'll give you a little secret. It takes him 3 or 4 tries to get 1 or 2 sentences out right on camera. And to see him sitting there talking for 25, 30, 40 minutes at a time without skipping a beat is quite impressive. And to me, that could be proof that he's more himself now than he ever has been. But then again, it could just be mania. But I just urge you guys to consider, maybe there's more happiness to be found when we look inside than outward. But Connor, I'm here for you. I'll always be here for you. I got your back. If you need anything, please reach out. You guys keep an eye on him as well. He's doing a 40-day fast right now, which can be very dangerous. I'll be checking in with him every couple days. If you need anything, please let me know. Anyways, man, I'm here for you. I got you. And until next time, peace out.